Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another review. You guys know that I've been testing a lot of fragrances from the house of Nicolai, and I'll be very honest with you. This is the first fragrance which reminds me of the reason I tested the house. The fragrance is so unique, it smells so good that it's nothing short of a masterpiece. I know the word is used loosely, but in this case I'm using it with full intent. Nicolai Neroli Intense, released last year, 2018, Parfumeur, Patrizia, Nicolai. I've tried 8 of their fragrances. This is the most impressive fragrance, bar none. So, Neroli. Now, Neroli is a note which I have grown to like. When I first started off in the game, Neroli was a note which I wasn't very sure about because it reminded me of clean sheets, laundry. Why? Because orange blossom is a sort of a flavoring agent in a lot of washing powders. So Neroli was always one of those notes which I stayed away from. First Neroli fragrance which really impressed me was this. It's Lorenzo, Villoresi, Acqua di Colonia. Yeah, this is an old-fashioned Neroli fragrance. There's another one, obviously, Neroli Portofino, which is an old-fashioned fragrance. But this has this unique quality of using LME resin, which is very interesting. I've reviewed it. It's one of my early reviews. So that was my first Neroli love, if you like. I also like this much talked about Serge Lutens. This one is called Fleurs d'Orange. Fleurs d'Orange is more of a soapy Neroli fragrance. I like it. It uses tuberose as well, which again has this green soapy narcotic smell. It's slightly feminine on me. I like it, but I like it in summertime. My most favorite Neroli fragrance has to be a designer, a cheapie. It's called Dunhill Icon. This is Neroli, cardamom, petitgrain. I love this fragrance. I love to recommend this fragrance. I know some of you don't like it. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's got a very nice note of blackcurrant as well. A fabulous fragrance. For the kind of money you pay, it's probably one of the best Neroli fragrances. But let's talk about Neroli Intense. I've been wearing it 2 days in succession. This particular dry down is about 1 hour 45 minutes. So how it starts off with a huge blast of everything orange. Yeah, it has Neroli, obviously. It has orange blossom, which is slightly sweeter, more floral side of Neroli. Neroli and orange blossom are basically the same thing. Orange blossom distilled in a different way. And you have petitgrain, right? So which is slightly the twigs and the leaves and the tender bits of the branch of a orange tree is used. So that's petitgrain. Along with that, you have a nice little dose of orange, slightly creamy, almost like smelling an orange from an orange tree. There's no smell, but if I squeezed it a bit, if I pressed it a bit, I'd probably get the smell of the rind and the orange juices. That's the kind of smell, very realistic orange. So that's how it starts off. Neroli takes center stage for about 1.5 hours, along with the notes I mentioned, and then something very interesting happens. And that's what inspired me to call this a masterpiece. What happens is, Neroli is combined with a beautiful note of tarragon. Now, I don't use tarragon too much in my cooking, but I had to refresh my memory. So how does tarragon smell? The tarragon is basically, the smell of tarragon is what could be described as a herbal, lemony, anise-like smell, slightly smoky. That's tarragon. So tarragon combines with the orange. Neroli takes backseat. And this beautiful smell that I have smelled before of beeswax. Now, if you haven't smelled beeswax has this most amazingly warm, tender smell of nature. Smell of flowers, smell of wood, leaves, everything that a bee has been through to create its sort of honeycomb. So beeswax combined with tarragon, slightly creamy orange, and slight hint of Neroli. This is how it dries down. Even in its late dry down, there's this signature musk patchouli combination. That's the smell. And this musk patchouli is evident even in New York Intense. And I love this dry down. This dry down is absolutely beautiful. So, pros and cons. Number one pro, what a beautiful creation this is. Creative genius. Who would have combined notes like tarragon, yeah, notes like beeswax to produce this amazingly creamy, full-bodied, fresh fragrance, right? Amazing. The second one is this feeling of being surrounded by freshness all day. Now let me give you an imagery. This one doesn't smell like a forest. It smells like a beautifully manicured English garden. Yeah. So it's as if walking barefoot on a freshly mowed lawn with country flowers, with orange trees. Yeah. Although we don't have orange trees in our garden, but I'm just giving you a visual imagery. It's this beautifully fresh, long-lasting fragrance. Number three, pro if you like, is the performance. Absolutely stunning performance. 1.5 hours to 2 hours of serious projection. If you went 3 or 4 sprays, you'll fill up the room, right? Strong, very strong sillage. I wouldn't ever wear more than 3 sprays of this. Longevity, extreme. 16 plus hours till your next shower, it will be on your skin. Projection, I would say entire duration would be at least 3 hours of solid projection, right? Those are the 3 pros. I'd say the 4th pro is the value for money. A 30 ml of this would cost you 58 euros plus shipping if you buy from pnicolai.com. I would be hard pressed not to spend that money. It's a beautiful fragrance. You get a lot for your money. So four pros if you like. The only downside I would say is the smell of Neroli. As I said, Neroli is used in washing powders. It will remind you, if you're not used to Neroli, of clean sheets, laundry, that sort of thing. So in my opinion, that could be a downside that could put people off. Does it smell like Neroli Portofino? No, it doesn't. It's very unique, very original. So, occasions. I would wear this daytime to any occasion where I want to smell elegant, sophisticated, charming, cultured. Yeah? This is not your panty dropper. This is in the same realm as Green Irish Tweed and the other sophisticated, gentlemanly fragrances. This is where I would wear this. All seasons, extremely versatile. You can wear this in winter. It's not terribly warm at the moment. It's about 8 degrees, 9 degrees at the moment here in the UK. So yeah, I wore this today to work and I got 2 compliments. Both were wholeheartedly in favor of this fragrance. You know, just amazing, very elegant. So yeah, slightly dressed up, I would say. Age groups, I would say 25 plus. Anybody who's in a profession where they're supposed to be formal, it will suit them to the T. And age group, there's no range. Anybody who wants to smell extremely elegant and cultured can go for this fragrance. Marks out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Hard to give this a 10 out of 10, although I want to. In my heart, I want to give it a 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10, why? Because that smell of Neroli for the uninitiated can be a problem. So 9 out of 10. Beautiful fragrance. Hope you like the review, fellas. Take care. Bye-bye.